Okay, Dad. After 2 games in Edmonton, we're tied at 1-1. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are that little rat, he come through again.
Well, we were sitting there. It's funny, Dad was over watching the game. And the funny thing is, when you and I are watching games, even when we scout, we don't talk much. We watch the game, right?
Yeah, we watch the game.
And I remember this reporter on for W5. She called me a couple times and wanted to go out with you and I to watch the hockey. Now, I knew it was probably an ulterior motive, so I kept saying no. And she goes, well, I just want to go out. I said, do you hear I go, what do you want to come out for? She says, well, I want to hear what you guys talk about.
We don't talk about anything.
No, we watch the game, right? She says, well, what would your father say? Dad will go, who's 23? Who's 14? Who's 26? I said, that's about it. But you picked so you were over, and we were watching, and Edmonton was getting hemmed in, and you decided, you said, get that effing line off the ice.
Many the time, I said, let's get that line off the ice. Didn't have it.
Yeah. Well, I remember you were watching an old Bruin game that you were coaching Montreal, and I remember your head was in your hand. I go, what's the matter? He goes, I can't believe I had that line on the ice that long.
Critiquing yourself.
It's 1-1. Marchand came through.
Marchand come through. The little rat come through. Imagine that he come through.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, guess who got for Edmonton?
Yeah.
Corey Perry.
Yeah. It's all the old guys coming through.
I think Florida should have won that game. But the 2 goals they got shouldn't have counted, I don't think. Because the one, Tkachuk did kick Ekholm's stick out of the way when it was on the ice, and then they scored. Yeah. That should have been a penalty. And then there was too many men on the ice.
They should have had a power play, yeah.
You were talking about it, Dad. How did GM Bill Zito, he gets Seth Jones and Marchand for the Stanley Cup champions?
Yeah.
They're like Mark and Dale Hunter, you know what I mean, to reload. Marchand gets, 3 points, 2 goals and an assist in the win, and the overtime winner. And Seth Jones played more than anybody on either team.
That's
how
crazy.
does he do it? I don't know what he does. He
didn't give away anything.
He didn't give away anything. I don't know. He just does things right.
He's a good talker, then I guess. He's
a
good salesman.
Well, the one thing is they did pull a Vegas where Tkachuk was on the long-term injury, so they had cap space to get those guys. But Seth Jones, how would you like this? Seth Jones played more than anybody except for McDavid, and next year Chicago's paying half his salary.
Oof, that's a good deal for them.
Hard to believe. So, well, Bennett did fall on him.
Well, for sure.
Well, he did fall on him. That was the worst refereed game I think I ever saw.
It was. That was especially the first period.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, but you always said when you were watching Bennett, you said that's nothing new because that's what Cash and Gary Dornhofer used to do.
And, Cashman, and no matter what happened, he'd fall on you.
Right. So I remember we had Kenny Dryden on the Grapevine Show, and we asked him about this. So here's a clip of Hall of Famer Kenny Dryden talking about Gary Dornhofer and Wayne Cashman standing in front of him.
Who was the toughest guy that ever stood in front of you? Now that's the toughest thing in a goaltender back in who was it, Dornhofer or Cashman?
Well, those are the 2 that I was going to mention. I think actually Dornhofer. He got me madder than anybody, and the thing of it is that I mean he had a terrific routine. I mean he would always stand outside of the crease. The crease is so small, there's no room to stand inside it anyway. So he was within his rights to stand where he was. But the remarkable thing about him is that it didn't matter which direction you pushed him in. You could push him from behind and he would still fall backwards into the goalie. And so long as the referee saw him falling or being pushed, it didn't matter, in which direction he was being pushed. If he fell on the goalie, there was no problem so far as the referee was concerned.
And he'd lay right on you.
That's right.
Cash was pretty good too. Did you see Schmutzy knocks off your
I noticed that.
Gosh, I love Schmutzy.
And you scored just after that.
Yeah, I know, he's great. I love that guy. Woo.
Well, Cashman used to do it. Dornhofer used to do it. Used to do it all the time. And he did fall on him.
With those guys back in those, like Dornhofer, he had a bad back, and Cash had a bad back.
Yeah.
Because they'd get cross-checked like you can't believe.
They both had that back.
So game 3, is Monday. I don't like the schedule.
No, it's off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
So what do you think is going to happen Game 3?
Well, I think Florida would come out just smoking. And you never know, though.
I think Edmonton's going to.
I think Edmonton's
going to
gonna
come
come
out
back.
smoking.
Do you think you...
In game, yeah, I think that as you always say, Dad, the team gets home, they're back with the whole, not mentally prepared as well.
Well, I think that Florida just come out smoking.
Okay. Well, we'll
see.
We'll see. Yeah, because I guess the games go Monday, Thursday, Saturday.
Really?
So it could be over by next Sunday.
Damn.
We never know. So we'll see what happens. Do you think it's better to have one flagship team that's the dominant team, or do you think it's better to have parity throughout the league?
Bobby Orr used to say that you have one good team. And when Canadians used to come into Colorado, boy, they just used to back them.
Right.
And 2,000 waiting outside.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I mean, I think you need that evil empire.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I think you need the Yankees.
Dethrone the king.
Like
kind of
I
thing.
think Major League Baseball is best when the Yankees are the best team. I think that the NBA is best when the Lakers are the best team.
And when Yankees come into town, it's jammed.
Right, because it's the evil empire
Yeah.
coming into town.
Who would you make that in the NHL?
I don't know. I think the NHL would probably were the Rangers to be.
Yeah, bring them back,
Bring
yeah.
back them to be the
And
Yeah.
LA.
and LA.
LA, yeah.
Yeah. But like right now, if I was saying who's the evil empire, Florida is.
Florida.
Because they're
the whole state is.
Yeah, but they don't sell out.
Yeah, but nobody cares, right? Like when they
No.
come in and
That's
they're
true,
like, you
yeah.
figure they got a lot of all-stars.
Yeah.
They're dirty. There's usually something happens when they're playing.
They don't have that PR that they're the toughest team. And the thing is, when they, in the corners and stuff like that, the people go crazy.
Right. Well, what was the big story this year in hockey? The 3 fights in the first 9
Yeah.
seconds. That was the big
Yeah.
story in hockey this year.
Yeah.
And like you said, that in game 2, as soon as the game started getting rough, the referee started calling penalties.
Yeah. Go ahead, Del. Tell us about the book.
Cindy's book, The Don Cherry Story. It's available Amazon and Indigo online and coming to chapters soon. Great stories about you and your life. I can't tell them as good as she would and not as good as you either. But the one things that beyond the stories that I really enjoy is she talks a lot about her upbringing and how you kind of raised her and stuff. So I can see it when she raised me and stuff. But like even when she was giving away her bike, right? And you forced her to clean it, make it look nice. It wasn't something that you were tossing to the curb. It was, you're giving it to somebody, you might as well put some effort into it to make it look good.
Yeah.
I always appreciate that.
Well, if you're giving something away, do you think she...
Oh, yeah. That was a fight of fights. And
was-
Mom took Cindy's side.
Yeah.
Because Cindy said, if I'm giving it away, why do I got to clean it?
Well, you got to clean it.
Yeah.
No, after
the fight.
After the fight. Like it was you got to go stand in the corner. That was not like, oh, I went and did it that you were told. But yeah. And Mom sided with Cindy.
Yeah.
And I remember you and Mom getting into an argument.
Yeah.
Father's Day is coming up.
Yep.
So it's a good time to check out Indigo
Perfect gift.
chapters
Nice gift.
for Father's Day.
Absolutely.
Father's Day gift.
Okay, Dad. So final thing is we're just going to say it again. You're picking Florida Game 3?
Well, on the series.
You're picking Edmonton, right?
Well, I'm picking Edmonton.
But for the next game,
I think Florida will come out smoking.
Del, what do you think?
I got Edmonton for game 3.
So do I. I think Edmonton's going to pull it out.
Well, we'll see.